All right, boys. Hey, welcome back. We're back. The B team's back. It's time for us to debate NFL, talk NFL, you know, see who has the worst possible take of the season. That's why we come to this show.
hmm
Mike, we're
hmm
back.
We
We're
are
back.
back. We are back. For all the people, for all the followers. We're happy to be back. We had a great summer. We had a lot going on, but this was never. We were coming back to this always. We started right before football season. We're right back at it. First week, we got another 6 months ahead of us of videos and content and all this other good stuff. I'm so excited. Football season is literally 3 weeks away, which is it went by so fast.
hmm
It's so good to be back, man. It's so good to be back talking sports, getting the people back involved, excited. Let's rip it, man. I'm jolted right now.
Well,
I'm
what's crazy is
jonesing.
like the amount of people that have come up to me over the last month and been like, yo, when's the pod coming back? Like, are we getting the pod back? Are we going to keep doing this thing? And like, I don't think it was ever a question if we were going to be back. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah,
Because you and I had, I mean, between the two of us, we had four weddings each, three weddings each, including my own.
including your own.
And then like, we got honeymoons, we got trips, we got music fest. Like,
There
just
was
an
a lot
absolute
going on.
a monster of a summer.
It
Like there
was.
is no way you and I would have been able to talk football over this last summer. It would have been all about what we did off the court,
That's
off
right.
the
Yeah.
field,
There
which
was
we
just
don't
so
need, which we
much.
don't really need to talk about.
Yeah, there was just so much going on this whole summer, especially with my job. My whole schedule was just like completely screwed up, and you were going everywhere. I mean, I think you went to Mexico like 5 times. It felt like it
No,
was great. I
once.
was so happy for you though because you were golfing all the time. I was golfing as much as I could, working all these weddings. I still haven't even been to the beach. I'm like, that's the one thing I have left to do. But yeah, during Music Fest, a lot of people coming up to me, hit me, dap me up, asking about the podcast. I'm like, it's gonna happen. Just be patient. We're getting back after it, and here we are.
Dude,
We
went
are
to a
back.
wedding last weekend and I'm standing there in line to get a drink at the cocktail hour, and this guy comes up and he's like, "Dude, I'm sorry. Like, I can't just keep staring, trying to figure it out. Like, I gotta ask you." He's like, "Do you do a podcast?" And I was like, "Matter of fact, I do." And he comes back this week, and he just started going nuts. He's like, "Dude, you guys are great. Love you guys." I I feel bad because if he's listening to this, I forget your name.
I
I
feel like
feel
that
really
happens
bad about
to
it.
a lot. I feel like that happens a lot. I'm like, I'll see people and I'm like, I have to ask. It's not even like an asshole move now. It's like, listen, we have a big gathering, a big following,
Yeah,
and I might see someone. I have no idea who they are, and I don't even
yeah.
care. I'm like, I appreciate that. They're having that stickball. I'm like, I'm not even gonna say his name. He introduced himself. I'm like, oh my god, yes, like we've done something together. I've interviewed with you. And I'm like, damn it, I'm such an asshole. But like, you don't see a lot of these people, which is funny because we live in Bethlehem and it's very tight knit. Everyone kind of knows each other. It's still a very populated town, but
Yeah.
it's tough to, yeah, that's on us. Hand up. We got to know our
Hand up
followers more.
accountability. It's on us. We got names we just got to be better with.
Yeah.
Just got to be better. It actually happened to me in preseason, like this morning. So the one trainer, he does like the running for us. This will be football related actually, and then we'll get into football. So the one kid's name, right? It's last name Gonzalez. The trainer looks at me and I go, "Oh yeah, Christian Gonzalez." Not his name.
Not his name.
Not his name.
Just
I'm just
made
football brain
sense.
right now. I'm
Oh, okay.
football brain. I'm just focused. Christian Gonzalez is in my brain.
Yeah.
Super
Great
Bowl.
name. Great
It's
name.
great player. Great player. Will he
Good
be in New
player.
England forever? We don't know. Um,
That's right.
but all right, let's actually get into the NFL because that's what we came here to do. And I just want to start off, we're back. I want to give the people what they want. Biggest NFL take coming into the season, Mike. Let's just start off with the bang. Do you want to go first?
Let me rip it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I've been believing this, I'm forcing myself to believe it, and I actually think it's going to come to fruition. However, there have been two injuries on this team that are really big for them. Like losing these two players, the one will be out for a couple of months. The one I believe is done for the year.
Sure.
It's kind of like a two part. It's one take, but there's two parts of it. I truly think here it is. I truly think the Saints out of nowhere, I think they're going to win the division. I think they have a lot of the pieces in place besides the one injury and the one, Jordan Tyson, he's going to be out for like maybe a month or two. He'll come back, but I don't know. I'm like gravitating towards his team. Like if you look around, like the Devon Valley, who's going to be your wide receiver two for now with Jordan Tyson out, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, Alvin Kamara, and then my guy Tyler Shuck, who another hot take I think is a top 10 quarterback and will be this year.
Top
I think
10.
Tyler I think Tyler Shuck is going to become a top 10 quarterback this year. I think he's the truth. He looks so he looked comfortable at the end of his rookie year, the second half of the season. He looked so comfortable. He was accurate. He had very good games. Their first game is week one against the Lions. I think that's going to be an absolute shootout. I don't even think the defenses are going to be on the field. It's going to be a high scoring game. People are going to be wondering, is this guy for real? They might be asking, who is this guy still at his second, in his second season? I truly think Tyler Shuck, I know, strange name, Shoughh. It's spelled like all shucks. It's not spelled like all shucks. Sounds like all shucks. Tyler Shuck. We're going to call him that. Tyler all shucks. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. You watch. Kellen Moore, your guy, is going to take this team to win the division. I truly believe it. That's my hot take.
I don't hate that, especially with what's happening in Atlanta right now at quarterback. You got Tampa Bay, who I think
Tampa
they're
Bay, who I think is going downhill.
I
Honestly, I love Tampa. I
exactly.
think they're going downhill.
I agree with you. And it's just, Carolina's always there. They got a little better, but are they really going to get over the hump and get I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. They're still the Panthers. It's kind of like the Browns. Like, can you really believe in them? Probably not. So I actually don't hate that take. It's definitely scorching hot, but I don't hate it. I
It
don't
is
hate
a
it at all.
score. It's a scorching hot take. But this is the thing, though. I feel like over the last couple of years, there's always been a clear cut divisional winner. Like I feel like there's always been one team that we really ride with, maybe two. For
Mhm.
me, it's been Tampa the last 2 years. Atlanta has always been like, they could possibly make a push, but then they just cannot get it. The front office has always been a disaster for them. Michael Penix is looking like an absolute whiff of a pick. Now, as we go back to it, it is not looking good. Um, I don't know. I actually feel like this division is actually getting more competitive, even though it's not the best. I feel like the group of those four teams are very similar with just their overall skill, their overall expectations. So it's a division to watch out for. It's always the one that we just kind of push to the side. It's always the South. Like it's always the AFC South is kind of the same
Same
type
thing.
of dilemma, and then the NFC South. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to be an interesting division to watch because all of those teams are going to be pretty much having the same record. I don't see Tampa, taking it by storm and being an 11-6 type of team, or being 5-0 right off the bat. I don't see Carolina do that. I don't see Atlanta doing that, and I don't see the Saints doing that. But I do see the Saints winning a lot of those interdivision games. I see them at least taking one from each of those: Carolina, Atlanta, and Tampa. And then those are the important games. It's divisional games. If you can at least sweep one of those teams, which I truly think the Saints can do, if they just stay healthy, I think sky's the limit. Honestly, which sounds crazy because they're so shitty, but I truly think they turn it around. That's my
Yeah,
hot take.
yeah. Like I said, I don't hate it. Definitely scorching hot. I actually think the Tyler Shuck being top 10, Tyler All Shuck being top 10 is the biggest hot take that we're gonna have on this show today. But I'll get into mine real quick. I think the Ravens are going to finish in the bottom of the AFC North. I, I don't I don't know why. It came to me this morning. I just something about that division. Like I look at Deshaun Watson and that Shador Sanders quarterback battle, and I don't know if you watched that Browns game the other day, but it's very close. But I think that the Browns are kind of in a sneaky good spot right now. And then the Steelers, I don't think are going to be terrible. They're always solid. I know it's kind of like they're going through a change right now, end of the Tomlin era, but I think it'll be for the better for them. Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers looks like he's actually like loving life for once. First time since being in Green Bay in his prime. And then, you know, you you got Cincinnati, who as long as they stay healthy, they added Dexter Lawrence. Can that team contend for a Super Bowl again? I don't know. I like where they're at. It's just Baltimore, something about it, right? I feel like they've never really taken a step forward offensively. They've just continuously gotten more injury prone. Derrick Henry's getting older. Lamar Jackson, like, let's be honest, hasn't really had an MVP year in a couple years, right? Where he stayed healthy the whole year, looked good the whole year. Like, there's always question marks around this team, which is why Harbaugh's out and now in New York. So I see them, taking a major step back, finishing last place in NFC North or AFC North this year.
Yeah, but you know what's funny though? Like, I agree with you, which I don't even think it's that hot of a take. Like, it's hot. It is hot. The seat is, it's heating up. Those seat warmers are hot,
See,
but they're real hot. But I don't know. Like, I agree. I just don't think Baltimore has really done enough or really anything at all to propel them to be those divisional favorites. You're looking at the last 2 years between injuries and, predictability, I feel like, besides Lamar, because all the attention's on him. I just don't think they have the personnel to do it anymore. We've talked about this with the Chiefs, and I believe they didn't even make the playoffs because I don't think their personnel was at that caliber. I think the same with the Ravens. You do have an aging Derrick Henry who's still going to be an elite guy. He's still going to, his body is taking a beating, but it has not slowed down. We know what to expect with him. But I don't like, are you really going to go into the season and believe that Zay Flowers, who is a good receiver, and what's his name? Bateman and Rashad Bateman, like, are you comfortable with those guys being your X and Z? Like,
but
are
that's
you
what I mean, Mike.
like
Like, what have
you?
they
Mark
done
Andrews is
offensively
another one.
besides add Derrick Henry and like Zay
Lynn,
Flowers having the
mm-hmm.
occasional game? What have they
Yes.
done offensively to say we are better than Cincinnati? We're better than Kansas City. We're better than now the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, right? What have they done to actually get that right to say they're better than them? I don't think they've done enough. Defensively, yeah, Baltimore's always been solid. I don't think they were as solid last year as they've been previously, but like I just feel like this team's going to be taking a major step back. I don't know. I have a bad feeling about their season coming up. I would love to hear from a Ravens fan. That'd be great.
Yeah, they've also lost Linderbaum, which I don't know why they didn't pay him. I thought he was, that's a center. That's kind of like a set and forget player. You pay him and you know exactly what you're getting. Now he's with the Raiders with all those juiced up players. Fernando coming in, Kirk coming in. Now Ashton Genty in his second year, Brock coming off an injury, ready to be healthy, ready to contribute. Like, I that's my problem though, is because I love Lamar Jackson. I know he is that type of guy. He is an MVP type of player. But Baltimore, year in and year out, from 2 years ago, I was very high on them. I believe they did make the playoffs. They got eliminated. Last year, I don't even think they made the playoffs. And it's just been kind of like a downhill spiral. And nothing has really changed. Yes, you can focus your defense. Defense is very important. But on offense, I feel like what they're going to do now is they're going to look at Lamar like a Josh Allen and just let him do as much as he can. And hopefully his body just doesn't go through all the turmoil that Josh Allen has. So it's a strange team. It's an interesting team to watch this year. But again, they can also be a team that just goes absolutely dog shit crazy and wins. But it's going to be tough. And I think that division is getting better as well. So, I don't know. Baltimore, we need answers.
Yeah, well, let's get into the offseason here. So, what felt like a quiet offseason, honestly, really wasn't that quiet at all. I'm just going to run down a few things here, and if you want to get into some of them or other stuff, all
Mm-hmm.
for it. You had Diana Rossini won Mom of the Year. Rams put together a major summer, traded for Jared Verse, or sent Jared Verse away with 3 picks for Myles Garrett. Donald returns. Trent McDuffie comes in. AJ Brown to New England. He's out of hell. No longer has to deal with Jalen Hurts. And then Geno back to New York to save the Jets.
Now, hold on a minute. Is Aaron Donald like for sure back with the Rams? Is that like set in stone?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like that's something you and I probably should know coming into this
I
initial
don't
show.
think I don't think he is yet, but I just think it's been the biggest rumor on the block that everyone's believing that it's going to happen. I feel like we would have seen a lot more on the social medias and everything, and I have not seen anything besides, oh, now they're going to bring Aaron Donald back. Like, I feel like I should know this too, but I don't. because I haven't seen anything. I feel like we'd see a lot more things about the Rams. That's on us. Hand up. While you're looking,
Yeah, he
last yeah,
has not
has made
made
a
a
decision.
decision.
Yeah, so it's not even set in stone. But regardless, they're still going to be an insane team with Myles Garrett. Like, yeah, listen, they are taking a completely different approach from all the other teams in the league. They're reminding me of the Dodgers in a way, like very similar to the Dodgers, where there's a player that is quote unquote untouchable, but then you throw out a crazy offer, all of your future first round picks plus Jared Verse, not all of your future, but you know what I mean, and you're getting a guy in return who is pretty much going to be a Hall of Famer, and everyone's mad about it. It's honestly, you can't even blame the Dodgers for doing what they do. Listen, they got Tariq Skubal. They made an offer. Why aren't the Mets doing that? The Phillies, the Yankees, the Red Sox, all of these other high payroll teams. Why they should be doing the same thing if they want to win. You can't blame the Dodgers. Screw them. I know that, but that's the approach that it is just, the Rams are only taking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to them. They're going to be, probably the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Last night, well, actually, one of my favorite signings happened last night. And me and my buddies have been talking about this. Where's he going to go? He is 34, almost 35 years old, which is kind of wild being in the NFL at this age. Keenan Allen is now with the Colts. So I said that the Colts would be a great team, but is he going to go to the Midwest? I didn't think so. I thought he was going to stay on the West Coast, whether it be the Rams or the Chargers, Seattle, whatever. I love this signing for the Colts. I think they needed to make this signing. One of those where he's still got some left in the tank, but nobody's budging.
Yeah.
He makes the Colts so much better, even at an old age at, well, 34 and a half. I'll hold off on the old because we're almost there. They trade away Pittman. He goes to Pittsburgh. Alec Pierce is dealing with an injury. He was going to be their X. He's going to be their number one. Josh Downs is, sky's the limit for him, according to every beat writer for Indianapolis. And now you bring in Keenan Allen with Tyler Warren as a tight end and JT. Dude, this is a team to watch. I mean, the only thing with them is, can their defense keep up with Houston? I don't want to get too much into the Colts, but I love this direction that they're taking. 1 year, 8.3 mil. I think it's a great deal for a guy that's, again, I still think has some left in the tank. I just don't know. I'm assuming Josh is going to play the Z. He's going to be on the outside. Keenan, they'll put him in the slot, and yeah, it's good. They're going to be fun to watch. I'm really excited for that. One of my favorite signings in the offseason, and it literally happened last night.
No, I think the Colts are going to be good. I mean, that quarterback battle is going to be insane once again.
Oh yeah, sure it is. I bet. Yeah,
No,
quarterback
that
battle to get his trade
Danny
value up.
Jones found his spot. I think he's got plenty of weapons. JT, the defense is all right. Like, there's no reason why they shouldn't be pushing Houston in that division. One thing I want to talk about, though, is New York Jets and their quarterback spot.
Oh geez.
Because,
Okay.
Mike, I think this is the best position you guys have been in a long time. With Geno Smith coming in, you have your future able to sit there behind them. As you always say,
Did
this
you?
is the way to do it right.
Yeah. I mean, based off last night, we're treating this guy like Mahomes. For people who don't know, there was a trade made in our league. It was Cade Klubnik for James Cook, and we lost our absolute shit. I will say, like, it is really exciting seeing him. Like, he looked great against Tampa in that preseason game. Again, preseason. We're not getting ahead of ourselves, but you could see that he's comfortable. Like in that game, he was very comfortable. The pocket was collapsing. He stood tall, fired a missile, deep cross, maybe 20 yards to Garrett Wilson, who made an incredible catch because he's that freaking good. But he's an interesting name to watch. And I'll tell you what, say somehow the gods are like, you know what? Jets fans have finally been through enough. They paid their time. We're actually going to award them with a good quarterback, and maybe they can excel and have a good season. It's like hitting a nuke in a care package. Very rare. Very rare. Okay. But it could happen. There is a chance. If he does somehow become the guy, you know, Geno is doing Geno shit. Cade comes in and he's winning games and he's doing this. I know, nuke in a care package. this is putting us in such a good position for next year. If Cade actually does become the guy that they trust and can move forward with, we have so many picks. I think we have 3 first rounders. We have the Colts, we have yours, and we have ours, plus the second round picks from you and the Colts as well. This could go really well. I think next year for them, again, I still believe this is a next year type of team. I mean, it always is, but they are truly positioned in such a perfect spot for next year's draft. I think this year's draft they nailed it. We'll get into that specific person, but Cade is really intriguing. He is. But I also think Gino's going to do well too. I don't think Gino's going to have his moments, but I think he's behind a better O line. I think his weapons are just as good, if not better, than the Raiders because you got Garrett, you got Adonai. The tight end position, Mason Kenyon Sadiq is still injured, so we don't know there. Brees, slight injury, but I'm actually excited. Too bad we might go like 1-4 the first like 5 weeks, but I don't know if you've seen our schedule. It's brutal.
Brutal.
The first game we play Tennessee, and I think we play the NFC North like for the next 4 straight games. It's a brutal schedule, but for me, a lot of the eyes are on Aaron Glenn. Like I want to see Aaron Glenn take that next step. He's going to be not only being coaching this whole unit, but also is going to be calling defensive plays. So my eyes are going to be on him. My eyes are going to be on Frank Reich. Like that's okay. Here we go. Uh, Updated news right here. Brees Hall will be out 2 to 3 weeks with his groin. He expects him to be ready for the regular season opener versus the Titans. So Brees Hall is good.
He's fine.
He's fine, but the injuries happen and you start worrying. But yeah, Cade, I think he's going to be interesting. He's going to be an interesting name to watch. I love this Frank Reich connection with him. And it's just exciting to start the year. There's a lot. It went by really fast. I really like where they're headed. I love the direction that they're going in, but they got to win. Enough with this fucking progress, all this bullshit. We got to win games. I'm tired of this. Yeah, I'm so tired of this. Unlike the Cowboys, where they should be winning games, they will be winning games. We know that. If you want to touch on that, we can go right into it because I know you wanted to really talk about the Cowboys.
I
I
do.
I'm going to give you the floor here because I know what I have to say. I want you to go ahead, run with it.
I'm not all right. I'm not going to be a typical Cowboys fan, even though it's going to sound exactly like a typical
It's a,
Cowboys fan. But like in
say it.
the last 5 years, right? This is the closest we've been to this is our year, possibly but it really actually mean like this could be our year. You look at the offense, you got George Pickens happy, playing on the tag, going to get paid next year. Jerry Jones wants him to play there the rest of his career. CD wants him there the rest of his career. Dak wants him there the rest of his career. And then you got Javante coming into year two. I mean, he was fantastic last year. I think the O line's only getting better. We're only getting old. Like all coming into this like prime together. And you got Fergie there, who, yes, he's injury prone. Um, but we have what's his name? He's got the double name, other tight end. Used to play basketball. Very good. But um I think like the offense is in a great spot. I
Mo
mean,
Alley Cox?
what?
Mo Alley Cox or
No,
Schoonmaker?
no, no,
Schoonmaker.
no, no. No, I'll find it after.
Okay.
But the offense is in a great spot. I don't see them taking a step back. I see them only getting better, considering CD was out for a number of weeks last year. George Pickens, I mean, it's going into year two with Dak. You would got to imagine the chemistry is only getting better between him, Dak, CD. You got Shoddy coming into his second year as a head coach, play caller, second year being, in charge of the offense. Everyone's used to it. He can really dial it in. I like our depth on offense. You got Blue coming in. I think he's had a decent start to preseason. He looked good in the few cameos he got last year. He looked good against the Jets in the two drives that he was able to get in. I think Camden was fantastic in the first preseason game, undrafted free agent. He was the one with the one-handed catch back corner of the end zone. I think he was very good. You got MVS, who I'm not high on, but it's veteran presence. You got Flanoy still, um, Turpin still out there. Like I think the offense is in a great spot. The biggest thing for us was always the defense, though. You got Clark, Williams, Eze. Dio, Rashawn Gary, D Winters, Downs. This defense, they're still very young, still very young. It's going to still take a few weeks for them to really probably hit their stride, all come together, be very on the same page. But when you look at the defense from last year to this year, it is two completely different teams, two completely different standards. And you can just tell by the way they're practicing. Preseason's been going, the coaching, right? I mean, Christian Parker was fantastic in that first preseason game calling. I mean, held them to 10 points, I want to say, 7 points. The defending Super Bowl champions. I know it's not the exact team that was there, but still, you still like to see that the defense is in a good place. So a lot of people are saying they're going to be a top 10 defense. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon just yet. But I do believe they're not going to be bottom two. Maybe
No.
bottom 25, but not
Mhm.
bottom two. I think that we're going to see an improvement 1000%.
I mean, again, like with the
And we just added
Cowboys,
Von Miller.
and you just signed Von Miller too. Oh, they are going to be so much better. But that was like you said, that was the biggest concern for the Cowboys was the defense. You just gave Quinn a bag, well deserved, and Caleb Downs apparently has been giving CD hell in camp. I think again, I said it, right after the draft. I'm like, I think you guys took the best player in the draft. I almost stand by it now because David Bailey's great. But Caleb Downs in the secondary, I almost said we needed that for the Cowboys. I'm kind of a Dallas fan, but it was really just the secondary and the linebacking core. Where they run a 4-3. I feel like their linebackers were not the fastest, so that was always the biggest thing. Now they have power. They have power on the line. They're going to be rushing the quarterback. That was their major. I guess pretty much their goal was get strong on the defensive line, get fast on the edges, because you got Jaden Daniels is mobile. You have Jalen Hurts who is mobile. Jackson Dart is mobile too. You got to keep those guys contained. You got to make your secondary work for those PBUs and everything. I truly think they got so much better on defense, and I truly think they could win the division. I really do. Like I think they are neck and neck with Philly. I think Philly is going to still be good, but it's not by much. I feel like they did just get rid of AJ, and AJ was very good. He is a very good receiver, but they're putting a lot of stock into Mekhi Lemon. If he could stay healthy, they're putting everything on the table with Devontae Smith, which I think will pay off because I truly think he is better than AJ Brown. I think Dallas, in the position they're in, a lot of familiarity. Shoddy's back, like you said. Dak is back. CD, George Pickens, Javante. They know the system. They don't have to teach many players the new system on offense. Sky's the limit. And they got speed. They got deep threats. They got Turpin, like you said, MVS. It all comes down to defense and Dak. I'm always going to put the blame on Dak because I'm not the blame, but I'm always going to look at him
Don't
as,
you dare go
no,
there.
no, 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 no.
Let's not start the season off
Hold
like
on.
that. Let's
No,
not
hold on.
start there. Let's not start there. You and
Blame
I
is not
both
the
know
right
that
word.
defense was hot garbage last year.
Yes, I know that. Blame is not the word, but I'm looking at Dak as to be the leader, as to be the guy to propel this team to be better. I want him to be that guy. And he showed it last year, but I want to see it again. And I want to continuously see it. I want him to make his mark as being just an average quarterback. No, he's above average. I think he's above average. I want him to prove me right. I want him to prove you right. I want him to prove all the Dallas Cowboys fans that he is what he is supposed to be, an above average quarterback that can take this team deeper than just the wild card round in the playoffs and divisional rounds. I want to see him attack the NFC Championship. I want to see them get to the Super Bowl because they truly can. They're going to have to play teams like Seattle, like the Niners,
Already
like the
beat them.
Rams, all the NFC North teams. It's a stupid tough conference, but I think they actually stack up really nicely against those teams. It's a scoring league now. They're going to put up points. They have, if not, I believe the best wide receiver do it in the league. I don't think it's close. They can do it. They really can. Can the defense just do what they have to do to get the stops, get turnovers, and give the offense a chance? Anytime they have a turnover on downs, the offense needs to go down and they got to put points up. They have to put points up and take advantage of that. That's what wins them games.
Last thing I want to say here is I agree with all that. He's got to go do it now. I
Hmm.
love the way that they're talking, calling themselves the greatest offense. Uh, what is it, Goody? Greatest offense there is. I hated it at first. I'm loving it now because they're starting to back it up with more talk. CD's talking about how him and George Pickens, best wide receiver duo in the league. Dak's saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. GP3 saying I want to be here forever. We're going to win the Super Bowl. You know, Fergie's out here talking about Super Bowls. I want everyone. That's the goal, because at the end of the day, when you're the Dallas Cowboys, if you aren't making the playoffs, they talk about how you didn't make the playoffs. If you aren't in the Super Bowl, they're talking about how you didn't make the Super Bowl. If you don't win the Super Bowl, they're shit talking you because, oh, you failed again, right? So that's not happening in Philly. That's not happening in Washington. That's certainly not happening with either New York team. It ain't happening in San Fran. It ain't happening in LA. There's only one place that that conversation happens year in and year out. Because let me tell you, when you turn on ESPN tomorrow morning, they ain't going to talk about Philly every day. They ain't going to talk about New York every day. They aren't going to talk about Detroit every day. It, when they turn on ESPN, you know what team's guaranteed to be talked about and scrutinized and shit on? The Dallas Cowboys. No matter if they win, they lose, they sell the team, they get kicked out of the league, they win 5 Super Bowls in a row, they will talk about the Cowboys no matter what, because that is why we are America's team. There's only one team in the league that has a kicker called Butter, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. So let's move on now. Um, is there anything you want to touch on with the Eagles though before we move on? I'm cool to touch on them for a little bit here because I think that with what the Cowboys have done this offseason, we're let's just get this straight too. I don't think Eagles are coming in third or fourth. Washington has their own issues because they can't use the number 5 anymore. The New York Giants have their own issues because Jackson Dart's already been in the blue tent twice. Like no one's worried about those teams. They're dumpster fires right now. I the Eagles and the Cowboys are the ones going to run this whole division. They might end up running this whole side of the league at the end of the day, depending on how the Eagles come out. I'm just concerned for Eagles fans because your wide receiver room is now pretty unproven. You have Saquon Barkley, you have Jalen Hurts, both great players. Always been a Jalen Hurts fan, always been a Saquon fan. But is the O line fading? Is the defense going to be as good? There's a lot of question marks with this team.
Yeah, the way I look at Philly, I feel like this is there's a lot of the guys on the teams like a last hoorah. You know, this is their last ride before they ride off into the sunset. Lane Johnson is one of them. You know, they are getting older. I do think that they have to rebuild the O line. I think they need to start targeting. If they still want to compete, they got to nail those picks because Lane's going to be out. You got to get a right tackle, a very important position. You need to be able to run the ball. You need to be able to pass protect for Jalen. I, I will say, I still think they will be good. I think they will go back to the blueprint 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl. Kevin Patullo completely disbanded that and went with a whole new strategy, whole new scheme for Jalen, and it did not work. It did not work at all. I truly think that Saquon is going to be an RB3, RB4. He's going to be a top running back again. They're going to feed the shit out of him. They're saying him and Tank are going to split carries. I think that's a bunch of smoke. I don't believe it.
No
But
chance.
again, I truly think if you want to win, I know it's ugly, but you got to keep the ball on the ground. You got to keep the physicality going. Because again, I believe Saquon is on either his second year or his last year of his contract. They should be running him into the ground, which I'm trying to say that in the most respectful way possible. Run him into the ground. He is now 29. He's going to be 30 next year. Are you looking at him as a Derrick Henry-esque type where his body's going to, withstand all of this contact, all of the hits, and still be able to produce and still be able to stay on the field and still be able to stay healthy? Do they look at Saquon like that, or are they looking at we're not going to pay him a gazillion dollars? His body has taken enough of a beating. Let's let some other team sign him going on age 30 and let them deal with, an aging running back. But again, I just don't see Saquon being that guy. I truly see him as a Derrick Henry-esque type player, physique-wise. But I don't know. I think if they go back to what worked for them, and that was running the ball with Saquon, get Jalen Hurts' legs moving, read options, let him be more comfortable. It's his 7th or 8th year now in the league. Like you got to let him you got to let him go. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to stop holding his hand. You got to just let him be. And that might be a little bit of a harsh statement, but I think a lot of the fans not that are non-Philly fans have seen that. And I think it's time where you got to mix it up. You got to just, if he makes a mistake, you let it go. You go back out there, but you got to run the ball as much as possible. I truly think if you can go with like a 60-40 with Saquon running the ball, getting the ball in his hands, I think it's going to work. You still got most of your pieces on the O line. The defense will be fine. I still think they're good. They're going to be a tough team. They will be a tough team. I just I look at the NFC West and the Ram if they're seeing the Rams in the playoffs, like it'd be really tough for me to go against the Rams. It really would. They are that strong. They have so many players. My Lotta versus Myles Garrett is get your popcorn. But yeah, that's my take on Philly. I still think they're going to compete, but they got to go back to what worked, and that's Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to leave that actually for now. We'll
Fair.
return to it, I'm sure.
Okay. We
All right,
will.
let's get into
Probably
buy or
next
sell,
week.
and then we'll get out of here. Great first show. Great way to end the show. Mike, do you want to go first for buy or sell?
Yeah, let me give
Or
you
should
my
I go
three.
first?
Let me give you my three here. So we kind of just talked about the Eagles. I'm going to get rid of them. I'm not going to include them. So the one we also did talk about. So I'm actually going to get rid of them too. I got another one. Okay. So right now, let's start off with a strange one. Let's go Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Are you buying or selling them?
Well, it depends how we're framing this, right? Are we buying that the Steelers are going to improve on last year? Yes, I'm buying that. 100% I'm going to buy that. But if we're talking about the Steelers winning the AFC North, I don't think I'm buying that. I
Okay.
think Cincinnati, I think Cleveland's going to give them trouble this year. Um, I still don't think they're a strong enough team. I don't know. I'm going to say buy. I'll say buy. I'm going to stick with buy. I'm buying the Steelers. I think that they're going to compete. They'll push for playoff spots, but they're not going to win the division. Definitely not.
So I never thought this day would come. I did put a future in Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP. We're not going to talk about it. I just wanted to throw it out there. Shout out to the Fountain Hill boys. I'm buying the hell out of the Steelers, dude. I really am. I think I've been sold on
MVP?
it's for value. Okay. It was juicy. It was really juicy. So I just threw 10 on it. However, I think this team is actually getting a lot better. I am I am tough on DK. I really am. I like their wide receiver three slots. I like Roman Wilson still. I like this Bernard kid out of, I believe, Georgia. Michael Pittman on the team now makes a whole lot of big difference. Such a smart receiver, good run blocker. Jalen Warren and Rico back there. The defense is going to do what they do. Mike McCarthy, I think they could win the division. I truly do. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm a Steelers hater. We know this. I think they could win the division. And listen, Aaron Rodgers, this is his last go too. He's going to give it all he's got, whether it be a popped Achilles 2 plays into the first game, or I just they're really selling me on it. I just like where they're at. For me, it's just, can DK be the team guy? Can he catch the damn ball? And can he just be a stud? I feel like we haven't seen that since Seattle with Lockett and Russ. We haven't seen that level of DK. And he's such a good player. It just hasn't worked yet. Like, mid table. Love how I said that. Just a mid receiver. Like, just like a Brentford type of receiver. Let's go. But
Jesus. All
I
right.
don't know, relegation. But yes, I'm on them with the Steelers. I'm buying the shit out of them.
All right. All right.
Um,
You want me to go?
yeah, you give
Bounce
me
back
one.
and forth a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Deshaun Watson will have a redemption season in Cleveland. Buying or selling?
I don't know, dude. He's throwing ducks out there in training camp. I still think it's a sell. I can't ride behind. I can't believe in Deshaun Watson. Let me pause myself there. I cannot believe in Deshaun Watson after all this shit that has happened to him. He has not looked good ever since that contract signing and everything that has happened. I'm selling on that. I At this point, put in Shadur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel. I just don't think it's one of those situations where they have so much money invested, they like have to play him. I just don't see him doing anything at all. I think it's done. I truly do. I'm
Yeah.
selling hard on the Browns.
All right.
Um, this is an interesting one because this team, you know, they've looked good, but they haven't been able to finally complete the main goal of getting a Super Bowl or even arriving there. What about the Detroit Lions? Are you buying or selling on them?
I'm buying.
You're going to buy the Lions.
I'm
Okay, why?
buying them because I feel like they signed a lot of key pieces this offseason. I feel like they have this chip on their shoulder again where because I don't know what it was about last year. I felt there was almost an arrogance about them. Like they knew they were good, but then they were never actually living up to the level that we all thought. So I think that they're coming back now. I think Dan Campbell's going to get the boys in line and they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder again. They're going to be chasing ankles. They're going to be trying to gnaw at people's ankles again, like he said in his first press conference. And I do think that they're going to be back stronger and they're going to contend for a Super Bowl. I do.
Yeah, I know with the Lions, excuse me, the Lions O line is definitely a little beat up. I know they did one guy did retire from the line, but I still love their skill players. You know, they still have Jamison Williams as well, Amon Ra, Gibbs. I still think Goff is a above average quarterback that's just going to get the job done. Um,
Big,
I
big
you
piece.
know
Big piece here. Terry and Arnold.
yeah yeah
He I don't know how he's still allowed to like look around the league for a
he's not even
team.
on the Lions. He's on Seattle. Seattle signed him.
They did today.
No, they did like a couple days ago.
Really?
Yes,
Wow. Impressive. So
yes.
Seattle's just taking the Dallas route. So that's crazy. So he
Go ahead.
he's just the new
Think
Ted Bundy of the North.
pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. That'll be that had to be an awkward conversation between him and Sam Darnold.
yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah.
like you walk into the locker room, it's like, hey, you're a great football player, but like what happened there?
Yeah, it's just like, dude,
You
like,
know?
what took you over there? You know, please
Like what
explain. We got to just
why
address the elephant in the room.
why did you take that person?
Like, how do you bring that up? Like, I bet you Mike McDonald handled he or McDonald, Mike McDonald. There's too many Mike mix something in the league, even in the league. I found shout McDan, but Mike McDonald probably handled that so well. I don't know if you've been watching Hard Knocks, but
Yeah,
he is fiery.
kids.
Like he's an awkward, fiery coach, and like that's a scary combination. I feel like he addressed that right off the bat. Be like, all right, Terrion, we need to talk about this before we sign you to, a couple $1 million and we look like the
Yeah.
scumbags.
I,
So
I I still think the biggest question, because didn't he kidnap the wrong person first, freed them, and then went and got the other person?
I something along the lines, yes.
Right. So I think even before we ask why you did it, it's like what was going through your mind after you knew you got the wrong person? Like
You just pay him off. I feel like at that
like
point,
that
but you can't
that
trust
was
him. We're getting
like
deep.
like getting the wrong person and freeing them. So now like no one knows that you're really like involved with it because that person clearly doesn't know you. You got the wrong person. I would think, right? That was like the universe's sign, like, hey, we're giving you an out here. Just let that person go right away and like go back to Detroit. And he said, no,
But
I'm
you
gonna
can't do
still do
anything.
it.
But like once you capture him, you're fucked. Like it's it. Like you fucked up. Now it's like, have you watched the mob movies, Terry on Arnold? Like, what are you supposed to do? I mean,
Per-
I'm not gonna say it
personally,
on camera, Jesus, but that's a
personally,
bad, bad,
I think grown
bad
men
research.
kidnapping each other is pussy shit.
Well, yeah, what was the goal? Like, I just don't.
That's what I mean.
This
Like, I think
is,
that's weird. Like you're like grown men playing capture the flag with each other is weird.
you know, we always say this like, how do these athletes, these people just keep getting themselves in trouble with so much money. I would probably fuck up if I had all this money. I would
No,
probably do
but
some
Mike, you're
dumb
not
shit.
gonna go kidnap someone. Like you're gonna go
No,
drink
no,
too
no.
much.
I don't know what I would do. I would.
You're gonna like forget to pay. You're gonna think that you're still making like a couple thousand a month and like not really that much money throughout the year, and you're gonna like forget to do your taxes right. That's what you're gonna get in trouble for. You're not gonna go kidnap somebody.
No, I wouldn't kidnap someone, but like what, like, did they see that paycheck and they're like, oh, they start licking
I
their
need a
chops like, I
ransom.
can't
That's what they
wait.
think.
I can't wait to just kidnap someone and fuck their life up. Like, I don't, it
Yeah,
doesn't
they
make
get
sense
paid
to
a
me.
crap ton of money and they're like, "Hey, I want to get someone on a ransom."
Yeah. Like,
That is that makes no sense to me. All right,
listen,
before we get
listen,
too deep into this,
one more thing.
okay.
I am not one to judge because I am not that rich, but talk to me when I have $5 million. Then we'll see. I will have cameras around to watch my movements, just so if I do some dumb shit, I'm going to jail.
All right, so FBI, this is your warning.
There
When Mike
you go.
Silvestri hits 5 mil, he's kidnapping somebody.
I'm buying all music vests and I'm playing my music only. I'm
All right,
hiring my own. I'm
last
hiring my own bands. All
all right, last one. Right? This is the last one. Yeah, last one here.
right, hit me.
Vikings will win 10 plus games this season.
Sell, no way, no shot, bro. They fumbled so badly. JJ McCarthy is a bum. He's gonna go down the Zach Wilson trail. He played well. Zach Wilson in his preseason game, pretty good. Kyler is not the answer. They are trying to just get the narrative away that they messed up on Sam. They're trying to make everybody forget about it, and they're high. Now they get Kyler Murray, and I don't see them doing anything. I don't. I think they'll be last in the division. They're not winning 10 games. They might win 8. They might win 7. They're not hitting double digits. I am absolutely selling. Sell, sell, sell. Put a put option on it. I should put a put option right now on the Vikings.
Option sell.
Options, yeah, I'm buying a bunch of puts on them. I don't believe in him. I'm not believing it. Sorry, Christian. I know you're a Vikings fan. He probably agrees. I don't know. Like, I just
No, he
don't see it
doesn't.
happening.
Dude,
Oh, he's sold
he
on
is
it?
delusional.
Oh, no.
He
Oh,
thinks they're
no.
winning a Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
But now that I said that, he won't think that. But then when he wakes up tomorrow, he will think that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the way he does it. He needs to be the instigator, the guy that's like always on the opposite side. We were just talking about this. So Christian is a Vikings fan, right? If they win the Super Bowl and we're all like, yeah, we're cheering for the Vikings, I think he would cheer for the Chiefs.
Anti-jinx it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I respect it. That's a gambler's mentality.
That's something I would do. Like
Yeah,
I
it's a,
can't hate on it, but that's
that's a
what he would
D,
do.
that's a D-gen mentality at its
Yes.
finest.
Yes. Well, that
That's
was
it.
fun. We're
That
back, dude.
I know. I mean, we didn't touch on the prospects. That's fine. We'll touch on them next episode. We'll dive in heavy with the prospects. There are a couple guys I do want to talk about, but yeah, great start. Good to be back in the flow. Good to at least, we covered a good amount of stuff heading into week 1, 3 weeks from now. We got a lot more weeks to
Yeah.
talk about football. Can't wait. It's exciting. We're back, Muller. The people are going to love this. I cannot wait to see the reactions.
Good. So, hey, guys, subscribe, throw a comment down there. Tell us your hot take. Tell us if we're being stupid, if we're being smart. Let's start some conversations. You all text us, put it on the damn video so that we can get our views up.
That's right. Let's go. Subscribe. Let's blow this podcast up so I can retire and I can do this for a living. Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. And we're out of here. See you guys.
Peace, y'all.